Well, actually, that reminds me. Let's talk about the thing that was at least music will be better. At least, of course, we've all heard that about comedy. Oh, remember Jon Stewart during the Bush administration, all that stuff. Let's talk about that for a second. Like, does that? I mean, like, are we just turning that on like a faucet? Because for me, it feels deeper. Like back then, I knew that we were in a war with Iraq that I didn't believe in, and that shit was being told to me but I was also like not into Al Gore. I didn't think he was robbed, and I didn't care. Like I was like, I thought all that shit was for chumps. Is that just a part of being young? Like where you're like, fuck this whole system, and
yeah, you don't give a shit about shit until you own a house and you're like, I'm paying taxes on this, so I want those motherfuckers not to park right there. So I want to pass a law to get those motherfuckers not to park right there. And that's just part of getting older.
I think that's a huge part of it.
You don't know.
That's a huge part of the middle class. Like I think if you go from lower middle class to middle class, like you become Republican with every fucking pebble in that path. I think in LA we have a distorted vision of it because you can shoot up from lower middle class to the equivalent of upper class, and the whole time retain you're like, I'll give my gardeners a bonus.
But there's a Democratic version of don't park in front of my house. Maybe it's a cigarette tax, or it's something else. But everybody, it's really, this is what we saw is like, we didn't know enough about each other. We don't know enough about each other. So if we had known more about each other, we might have respected rights of other people a little bit more. And I think that part of it is age, because when you're a kid, of course, you don't know shit. But we kind of have to look at ourselves and say, we should have checked in on those people once they started closing those factories. It doesn't mean that we owe them anything,
right?
But we might have wanted to check on our fellow American a little bit more.
That's a fantastic way of weaving those cones, because I want to really respect the people. I think Spencer's one of them, and I think I've been really... I've never expressed it to Spencer, but it's like Spencer's a relatively young guy, and it's like this is a big election, and Spencer's like... I watch what he retweets and stuff, and I'm like, Spencer's on point, and he's like fucking mad. Like he's not. He's sick and tired of. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're sick and tired of the philosophy of, like, oh God, see guys, like we shouldn't have ignored them. They have needs too. Don't forget to tolerate the intolerable. Or I'm sorry, don't forget tolerance for the intolerant. You're a little sick of that, like.
Well, it's just. I mean, we've had polls. We did polls before this election. Half of respondents in these polls, half of Trump supporters were like, black people are more lazy and more violent than white people. A third of Clinton supporters thought that. So it's just like, if you ask what their beliefs are racist, and they believe in people who they think can help. But they're not going to help. They're not going to help them. They're only going to help them if they think that. Do
you think that
racism
that the blacks are the black thing about being lazy comes from the old slow rapping back from the 80s?
It certainly isn't how we met each other.
Yeah. I can't even be bothered to rap fast. So hot.
I think it's all everyone's, you kind of touch on it sometimes, but it's like the word intersectionality gets at that there's this overarching oppressive system that tells white people that black people are taking their jobs and are causing them problems. It tells men that women are, not serious. It tells poor or rich people that poor people are to be feared. Right. And it keeps us all complicit in kind of ignoring inequality that happens and ignoring that it's real and ignoring that it's dangerous.
And figuring out how to actually do it.
Apathy is why half of the eligible voters stayed home. I mean, I think if they were more open to the real plight of people, they would say, we can't elect Hitler. We have to get out there. I think we should have, activated those people.
But we're
more.
still going to have to talk.
Yeah. No, we can't, because we can't just say, no, you're racist. We have to say, you're not racist, but the way you act and the way you make decisions and policy choices is playing into the system that affects us all, and it affects you, and it makes it so you can't get what you want, and it makes it so I can't get what I want, and it kills people.
Right. So I think when you're in a drive-through, this is unrelated. I'm just so hungry. I think when you're in a drive-through, like the position that you've been placed in before you start communicating with the other person has a huge impact on every aspect.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, the person on the other side of the drive-through speaker, they're speaking the same language as me. They're everything. We're all in the same business. It's McDonald's. We all know one person wants a burger and how much it should cost, and yet so much breakdown because of the position you've been placed in and the filter you're being placed on the other side of it. So, like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what the practical aspect of this is, but I know that we can't wait for 300 million people to stop being fucking morons, because the average IQ is 100. And if we don't start being comfortable with the idea that most of the people you meet, most of the people you love, most of the people that if you're in this city you hope will one day worship you, they're dumb. They're dumb as a turd compared to
Dan Harmon calls his fans dumb.
But
that's how we got here.
But we're all smarter than termites, giraffes, baboons, rocks.
Would you lay off giraffes for one episode, man?
I'm not going to let them off the hook just because of this election. Like, they didn't come any closer to respect in my mind. When you find yourself talking to a person and you start to hear them like bubble up, or you start to feel yourself bubbling up, like, can you identify the speaker between you? Can you identify that you're at this drive-through? Because in real life, getting out of your car accelerated makes it a horrible TMZ clip of like oh, this person wanted his McNuggets so bad. But we're not true. There's no McNuggets. Stop beating that metaphor. When you are talking to a person over a wall and you feel like there is something between you that can't change, instead of focusing on the wall or even trying to talk over it, is there a position that both people can take relative to what you're trying to do? Because what if those people talking over the wall are talking about something over there, like a giant Anthony Hopkins created windmill machine that's going to create a canyon through the episode you're missing tonight? What if you're both fucking robots? You should both face the problem, and you don't have to get over your differences, because the differences might be that person's fucking racist, and that when they look at you, they think that you're a worthless person. And that goes back again to I think the ladies learned this time around, and Brandon's point is yeah, welcome to the fucking party. Which it's like,
the music is amazing. You're gonna love the music.
A lot of people got a big fat taste of holy shit for real, not in a Facebook policeable way, not in a are you being a little way, not in any kind of Kelly doesn't like you way, not in a I'm not hanging out with him way, not in any way that's defeatable by any of that shit. In a very real way, someone you might be talking to might be fucking just looking at you and thinking, that's a vagina. That's a black person. That's a white person. That's a union person. In my case, talk to union people. Yeah.
That is a space
damn it,
person.
is he props or electric? Ugh.
Am I
all have
seeing
goatees. The wall may be absolutely vile and may need to come down and may be a huge part of a huge problem. But how will you ever yeah, that's the big question, is can we somehow concretize the practice of, oh, there's a wall, okay, well, let's be better than two ants with a difference between each other and do this ritual where we rotate 90 degrees, and we'll get back to that wall. That wall is fucking even more visible this way. It's right there. We can even see how long it is and where it came from. I'm fucking nailing it now. What it connects to, all the other walls and stuff. But the most important thing being oh, are we controlling ourselves, or are we letting these walls? Because who put them there?
But yeah, that's what you have to reveal that stuff to people, and I think there's this gap, this disconnect, because whenever I'm coming from a place, it's from trying to help people, and it's not always coming through, but it's but my understanding that I don't say is that you're focusing on issues of race is distracting you from the real problems that are affecting us all. And as long as people ignore that disconnect, we're not going to be on the same page. But we have to say no, your problems are valid and they're real, right, and they're part of this thing that I acknowledge, and it's valid, and it's explainable by this system that also acknowledges that racism is a real thing that you should also acknowledge exists in the world. And I'm not saying you're racist, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're on it. You're on it
But
because that's
it's
what
not
we've been
being
doing wrong. Our
We've
demographic.
just been dismissing.
The
Yeah, and we're
Asperger
not
Reddit guys,
listening.
we're always saying to women, and we're always going just shut up for a second. I'm trying to explain. It's like we're always like someone will post a story about like I was in a parking lot and all this stuff happened, and then like Spencer and me come from a world where we're like helping when we go. Yeah, but however, you probably shouldn't assume that person. Oh, sorry. Well, rare. And it's like you're. Yeah. Anyways, what were you gonna say?
Well, I mean, I just think that no one's listening, and I do think that there are deep-seated issues in our country, and I think it starts with our shitty education system, and I spent a lot of time in Appalachia, and I don't know if anyone else has, but a lot of towns are derelict. Like they don't have money to even tear down buildings that they don't know what to do with, and then
they let like mountains just grow
mountains
there.
and mountains.
They don't even have funding for mountain clearing.
But we all believe that global warming is happening, so like that's true, and green energy is good. Yet there are huge industries that have relied on coal mining and just in the mining business, and they now are losing jobs. Coal mining businesses have been almost fully shut down, and not fully, but everyone's losing jobs, and then you lose jobs, and then no one wants to be a teacher, no one gets paid, no one can create a business because no one's going to go out to a restaurant, no one's going to give their money there, and then now they're all pissed. People have drug issues all over the country. No one pays attention to it.
States have no tax revenue.
And there's this cycle, and people are mad, and Trump made those people feel special also, as well as all the problems in the world.
He said, how's everybody doing tonight? Oh, to Section C.
Yeah.
And that made a huge difference in the concert. Yes.
And they came out and they voted, and I don't know if he's going to fix their problems, but it's really fucking sad. And there's no alternative jobs for a lot of people who work in industries like that. And I just think that there's a way that we can go into areas and not have a political agenda and just understand, okay, so you have a father, a grandfather who's been so angry for whatever reasons. They didn't have an education. But you know what? You're the new generation. Let's figure out how to serve you better. Let's figure out an education system that's better for you. And then maybe we can even figure out a way for you to express yourself beyond school. So you can talk about all this weird shit happening in your head, or what, JJ said to you, or whatever.
Yeah.
There's no expression.
Yeah, make your kids less into multicam.
Yeah.
Just from a TV perspective, it's just like tell them they have options. Like there's like it's just like why would you want to hear other people laughing? It's okay to just laugh at what you want to laugh at.
Right, and it seems like if
so
the
mad about
parents are
Big Bang
voting,
Theory.
I'm gonna grind every axe I can while I still have a chance. Paul Bunyan's dying.
But it's coming down from the generations and their parents, and then if we want to change something, it starts with educating young people, and that's what Hillary Clinton was all about. And we have a shitty fucking system in our country.
And I'm super proud of the fact that in California and Los Angeles, it's like these concentric strongholds of we have like amazing, like if we choose to volunteer in LA, overflowing. But we were talking about this, and it's like I don't know if this is the most dumbest thing I've ever said or the smartest thing, but it's like, oh, people say white privilege and then your skin bristles, but it's like, oh, what if it was actually privilege? What if you could, for instance, I know you would be allowed to walk into a steel mill and nobody's going to be like, hey, who let Scarlet Witch in?
I've gone to so many
steel mills?
Coal mines.
Name 3.
They're all in West Virginia, and I don't remember what they're called.
The Toluca lode. She busts out this Deadwood jargon. No, but that's so. What do you mean you've been to them?
Because my ex-boyfriend's family is from Kentucky.
Oh, you've just been to them. You're not like Princess Diana, going to them. Do you mind coal?
I've literally just hung out, and then he ended up making a film in West Virginia. And I was going to these places where, at first, everyone who's working in these mines, they feel with you coming in with cameras, they're already assuming that you're coming in to make them look stupid.
To make fun of them.
Yeah, they already think that. So they're really defensive. They just think, oh, you're going to make us look stupid in this movie.
Because I've been pitching, every time one of these camera crews comes in, I pitch my fucking show. No one listens. It's a good idea. It's about a guy who minds time. You can't fucking tell me that's not a good idea. But no, I got soot all over my face. So everyone's like, look at the jackass.
What's the show called?
Time Miner, you fucking faggot. Fucking big city faggot. Can I get back to work?
I'm sorry.
Are you going to buy my show?
I'm sorry.
Get back to fucking work.
I didn't notice you were handicapped. I'm sorry. I went to Lizzie. I've been to Morgantown, West Virginia. That's where the college is, though, right? That's where the
Yeah, I haven't been there.
that's where the Mountaineers are, and but I do comedy shows. We will go to like rural areas, but we're usually around where the colleges are, which tend to lean a little bit more liberal.
Yeah.
But when you get slightly out of town, you're in straight up red state, like real stuff, and some of the coolest, nicest, funniest, happiest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
in the
and
world.
a lot of people that I tried to, exercise this thing of I have these, in my mind, educated beliefs and trying to be patient and listen. And all you can hear on the other end is they are shit out of luck right now. Like, they don't have a lot to hold on to. And that's all you can think about. And you can't then label it as stupid or ignorant. It's just...
You also can't be like, oh, let's flood all of our passion into this ailing part of the country, because every black woman that's not listening to this podcast, because I have 0 black women listeners, because I've already
That's not
alienated
true.
them. Oh, Brandon!
Let's show that footage of 13 black women watching Dance Harm.
I thought you just came out as trans.
And it's like, we have to be like, okay, it was a terrible strategy for the Democrats to ignore what would be really uncharacteristic, rightfully so, uncharismatic. It would be a hard thing to be trying to get the Democratic vote and to be honest and practical if you were really also simultaneously, in addition to trying to get the Democratic vote, also trying to be honest and declare an agenda for change. You're just shooting yourself in the foot, standing up behind any podium during that campaign and going, and let's not forget the beleaguered honky. Oh, languishing from his Bruce Springsteen factory, somewhere out there, wishing for more whiteness. Will he ever get what he deserves? Like, that is a Republican, that came to be a conservative thing. It's like, oh, because those guys are fiscal conservatives, which means they'll never win democratically. They have to attach that caboose to a train with an engine, which is a lot of people who are scared of gay people, scared of culture, scared of and it's like that those lines get drawn. Then you have Democrats going, oh, so everyone that's working with a welding torch in their hand is a moron who hates gay people, who's going to vote for George Bush, or is living in a district that's going to go red anyway, so fuck them. And also, I'd lose 10 black votes even bothering to throw one of those Joe the Plumber fucking asides during any visit to anything, because fuck that guy. So what if, and it's like, this is why these lines, it's like they have sucked us into a world wrestling like franchise. They have told us there are good guys and there are bad guys. It doesn't really matter who. It's linked to all kinds of visceral stuff. There's an Iron Sheik, and that's got all kinds of symbolic value. But we all know, we all celebrate on CNN and Fox News and in our living rooms. We all know that they don't actually represent those things. We all know that Donald Trump, for instance, does not work as a janitor. He does not weld anything. He's never successfully owned a business. I don't mean to get fucking controversial, but and he's rapey. But we all know that he doesn't represent American value. You know, it's like we all know that politicians put on this show. They're professional wrestlers. They're symbols. We go like, oh well, I don't expect Bill Clinton to say I believe women are the future and then go off and not fondle them. He's a politician. He has to wear that blazer. That comes with fondling women. Like, we make allowances for these performers because we accept that they're engaged in chicanery. We accept that we're idiots. We sit there and we cheer for symbols. We punish them for becoming real. We find photos of them smoking joints in college, and if that's not culturally right at that time, then we go, caught you. You weren't Hulk Hogan. Your name was Terry. Like, you can't be a wrestler anymore. You didn't come out of your mother's womb and grab a lion. Like, we know it's fake, and then we insist, and then we wonder why. So we sit in this franchise, but then the mind blower is when people who go to professional wrestling and who like get to like fucking get some of their feelings out by yelling at red guy versus blue guy in a ring, they get to leave that venue, get in their cars, go home, and decide how to watch television, how to order popcorn. Do you order popcorn? Again, out of touch. How to interact with how to leave a comment under your favorite or least favorite thing. The reality that we're living in, the metaphor I'm talking about is they're never going to let us out. We have to leave the venue. And it's not a physical venue, but like they have it built around all of our lives. We sleep and dream in it. Some people here tonight, I guarantee you, because that election was so volatile, it was such an event. There are people here tonight who are here with boyfriends or girlfriends that are now their boyfriends or girlfriends because they broke up with someone that on Tuesday. Like there are probably I bet 20% of people here tonight are have gotten in fights and ended relationships. The people in the wrestling ring go into the back room and they do cocaine, and their nuts shrivel up and they write books and they don't sell and they're sad, and then Mickey Rourke plays them in a movie and he even doesn't get an Oscar. I mean, it's don't even be mad at them. They're just clowns. We just need to like that's all I'm waking up to is holy shit, man, because it's like how do we get out of there? And you get out of there the moment you go oh, it's not real. And I'm not saying don't vote for this crazy person, write in your friend, turn the poll over. I don't know, man. I just we got nothing but time now to go, okay, so that happened. That's like an ice pick that goes down the middle of this block and it's fragmented, and now it's all laid bare and there's chunks and all this shit. Be very careful as we pick up each chunk or as we clean up all this stuff. Are we going to do so under the religion that got us here, which is the religion of division, the religion of these demographics that we found out can't even predict polls? If they were going to have any function, they certainly never applied to who's going to give you a cup of sugar. We knew that. That was what all our stories were about. Oh, I thought that black guy was going to stab me, according to CNN, but then he helped me change my tire. That's every...
Or took my heart out of my chest.
Oh, God damn it.
Black people are stealing hearts now?
Or the horrible story where I thought that black guy was going to help me change my tire, but he took my heart out of my chest.
I just don't want to hear a story where I got a job out of the shit.
I got sidetracked there because I got excited about a new thought about dichotomy. But my what have I learned since I saw you guys? Nothing I ever think politically is going to happen. None of my predictions ever come true. We can't keep expressing ourselves about injustice that we're reading about on Facebook and the Walmarts and the guys snatching those headscarves off and saying you should hang yourself with this. It won't stop if we should retweet it. The retweet won't stop it. It's
part of the show you're talking about.
Yeah, it's fun. Andy Kaufman knew that. A boo is worth 2 laughs. Yeah. That doesn't mean don't talk about it. Don't go numb. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I'm telling myself to do. Don't go numb. Stop being surprised. Figure out what the fuck to do. Communicate with each other. Be honest about if you perceive any division between you and another person that has nothing to do with what you know about them as an individual, try just brave the lack of charisma that is. Well, I think, is it possible that the way we're talking to each other right now has something to do with the fact that you're a barista and I'm a customer? Because I don't fucking I didn't buy a ticket to that. I just want my coffee, bitch. No, sorry, bad example.
Wow, that came off the rails pretty fast.
Yeah. That wasn't. Dan, give us leadership. Tell us what to think. I'm failing.